Embrace the human elements of you. If you stutter, if you sneeze, if you say every 2 seconds, guilty. Just show up as yourself. Embrace the human elements where you mess up maybe, or where you sneeze, because I sneezed in a video and I don't know why, but people loved it. And just embrace those human elements, because it really, again, takes that pressure off your shoulders of having to be or show up a certain way.
Are you nervous to get on camera? Oh my goodness, I waited over 3 years to press record because I was so nervous and I had such low self-confidence to actually get in front of the camera. The girl you see sitting here today or hearing on the audio is not the girl that I was 10 years ago. And in today's episode, we're talking all about the steps to take to calm your nerves so you can press record. My name is Heather Torres and I'm the host of this show here on the Think Media podcast, the number one podcast to help you grow your YouTube influence and then turn that YouTube influence into a high impact and a high profit online business. Every single Tuesday, we are releasing a brand new episode. So make sure that you are locked in by subscribing if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribing wherever you like to consume this content on. And I want to welcome all of our brand new listeners here on the podcast as well. I'm so encouraged that these episodes are helping you grow your YouTube influence and helping you create the best online business possible. Now, today's episode is brought to you by growwithvideolive.com. I am so excited because we are in the countdown to the #1 conference to help you grow your personal brand using video. We have amazing speakers like Gary Vaynerchuk, Chalene Johnson, Patrick Bet-David, Alex Hormozi, Jasmine Star, Aaron On Demand, and so many more that are going to be there to teach you all about growing your personal brand and your online business. If you've not locked in your tickets yet, you can go to growwithvideolive.com right now to secure your in-person or your virtual experience. Now, for all of those who have already registered, it is going to be such an amazing experience. We've got a poolside party to kick it all off. We have networking events. You're going to walk away with actionable steps to grow your personal brand using video. And can I tell you that in this year and the years to come, video is only getting stronger. We have experts that are teaching on all of the platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and so many more, because I know that you want to be everywhere. So we're going to teach you how to do that. So go to growwithvideolive.com to secure your ticket today. Now, today's featured content comes from Cannell and Modern Millie. And we're talking all about how to calm your nerves and how to get confident on camera. Let's jump into today's featured content and stick around till the end, because I'm going to be sharing with you one of my tips that I've used over the years to help me look confident on camera.
Man, getting on the camera can be really scary. So how do you ultimately build your on-camera confidence? I'm excited today because on the podcast, we have Modern Millie, who is an Instagram expert, a YouTuber who started her channel, really got serious in 2020 and grew to over 160,000 subscribers so far, as an educator, course creator, but is most known for residing in Oceanside, California, where the weather is sunny, where her and her husband adopted a terrier named Lady off the street. Modern Millie, how's it going?
It's going great. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for being on the podcast. I'm fired up. And we're here at Social Media Marketing World, but our topic today is camera confidence. And
yes,
this is one of the scariest things, right? Because our first videos are our worst videos. People wonder, when I first get on camera, will it be awkward? Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, will I not know what to say? Yeah. You won't know what to say. And so it can be really, really challenging for people. So I'm excited. You have 3 practical tips, but a couple questions to start off. Why is it important to put our faces on camera, to actually get on camera ourselves as opposed to hiding behind slides or B-roll or something else?
The most important reason for putting your face on the camera, because that's everybody's biggest hesitation. They're like, well, I want to grow, but do I have to use my face? Like, you don't have to use your face, but it will be very powerful to use your face, because it really is the one thing that'll build human connection. As humans, we seek out faces everywhere we go. Like when you look into the clouds, sometimes you'll just see a face. Your face is seeking out that connection. So when you put a face to your brand, that is the best way to make the human connection, make the human elements pop out and really stand out. So I like to give the example of, like, when I say State Farm, can you think of somebody who represents State Farm? Everybody goes, oh yeah, Jake from State Farm. Because that business, who didn't have to put a face to their brand, they put somebody recognizable into the forefront of their brand so that people could immediately create that human connection. So that's really the biggest reason using your face is so pivotal.
I love that. And when it comes to some of like, obviously your research, you coach a lot of people, so you get to get inside of the emotions that people feel. What are people uncomfortable on camera for? Like what usually is the source of their camera discomfort?
There's two different sources. So you have your external sources and then the internal sources. So usually the two biggest reasons when I ask somebody, well, what's stopping you from getting in front of the camera? There's two common answers. One has to do with the fear of being judged by other people, and that's the external sources. And then the other one comes more internally, where it's like, I just feel awkward, or they just feel uncomfortable. They don't know how to be in front of the camera because of that lack of confidence. So those are the two biggest reasons people stay away from getting in front of the camera.
Now, did your camera confidence come instantly, or, talking before, you said that you even had a channel that you kind of experimented with your brother.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you're doing Instagram Reels, you're doing all these different forms of content, but talk about your journey. Like what was kind of your progression of building your camera confidence?
I am child number 4 of 5. And I think being one of the youngest, you kind of wanted to put yourself in the spotlight because you didn't want to be forgotten. Not to say that my parents were like, let's forget children's 4 and 5, that wasn't the thing. But kind of ingrained in me was, okay, how can I jump in front? So since a really young age, I was always making music videos with my siblings, singing Hit Me Baby One More Time, right? And then the love for video started to really come out in middle school, high school, when my brother and I, we started a YouTube channel together. And it was weird still, like actually sitting down with a camera, pressing record, and you're like talking to nobody, but in hopes of talking to somebody, right? And even to this day, since I'm thinking back to when we first pressed that record button back maybe in 2008, 2009, even now, 2022, I have my own established YouTube channel. When I press record, it's still funky. There's really not this one thing like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to overcome all of the fear and all of this awkwardness. It's just getting comfortable within the awkwardness and being like, okay, this is just a thing. I'm just talking to a camera, and that's just how it's going to be.
And I love you sharing your journey too, because it has been a journey. You haven't just done it once. You've made all kinds of different pieces of content.
Yes.
And today you're standing in part of just doing it a lot. Lots of repetition, lots of practice, and it does. It definitely does get easier. It becomes second nature. I'm like 2,000 videos in, 15 years in, or something. It's just kind of crazy. Yeah,
it becomes easier. It like second nature, kind of like talking to you right now, conversational. You learn to have a conversation with an inanimate object like a camera, but there's still always that you mess up and you're the underlying, oh, well, I messed up. That was awkward,
Totally.
That little feeling is always kind of there in the back of your mind.
100%. And people probably be surprised how much we still mess up and how many retakes there still are, even if you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to get into these tips. And so 3 quick practical tips for just being more confident next time you're on camera. And the first one is flip your phone. Can you talk about that?
Yes, flipping your phone. I notice right now a lot of us, we just have our phones on hand. And even if you want to start a YouTube channel and you don't have anything, people are like, oh, I need a camera. It's like, just use your phone. But when you use your phone, my biggest tip is to not, I'm just going to show for anybody who could see, and I'll do my best to explain for anybody listening. You have the selfie camera, which is like where you see the screen. A lot of people use the selfie camera. Flip it around and use the back camera or the main camera, because then you can't see yourself and you're not judging yourself. You're able to make eye contact with the camera, which is really what brings that human connection. And you're not getting in your head because you can't see, you can't judge, you're just talking.
That's a really good tip. And also, they might have a camera with a flip screen on it, and I guess you could challenge yourself by getting the shot right, but then putting the flip screen away so that it's not a distraction.
Right.
But also a huge tip is also make sure you're looking at the lens. The other problem would be if you see a lot of creators sometimes staring at themselves, and that eye contact actually makes human connection.
Yes.
But if you're just
exactly.
looking off to the side or looking off to the selfie screen, then you kind of miss out on that. So I love that tip. Number 2, press record with no intention to post.
Yeah. If you're somebody who's just starting out and you've never made a YouTube video before, or you're making an Instagram reel, you put that pressure on yourself of like, okay, well, this video has to be perfect, or this video, it's got to be good enough to post, right? We have that pressure. Well, when you record for the first time, take that pressure completely off. Take the pressure off. Press record to simply press record and get comfortable in front of the camera. That video that you record doesn't have to go anywhere. You can delete it right after, but just get comfortable sitting in front of the camera, tell a story, share with yourself your most embarrassing moment, and just talk to yourself on the camera. It doesn't have to go anywhere.
So encouraging. Okay, tip number 3, embrace your flaws.
Yes, I find that my best performing videos, both or with TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube, some of the most common comments are when people are like, I love that you kept in that blooper. I love when you sneezed, like that was so funny when you incorporated the sneeze into the conversation, and again, people see all of these influencers or creators, YouTubers, and they think they have to be a certain way or show up a certain way. So maybe there's people who look up to you, follow you, and they think, okay, well, if I'm going to be a YouTuber or podcaster, I'm going to show up like Sean. It's like, no, don't show up like Sean. Sean's great. He's fantastic. Use him as a role model, but don't show up like him. Show up like yourself. Embrace the human elements of you. If you stutter, if you sneeze, if you say every 2 seconds, guilty. Just show up as yourself. Embrace the human elements where you mess up maybe, or where you sneeze, because I sneezed in a video and I don't know why, but people loved it. And just embrace those human elements, because it really, again, takes that pressure off your shoulders of having to be or show up a certain way.
So strong. Millie, if people want to connect with you, you're a great follow for especially Instagram tips on YouTube and on Instagram, but what's your handle? How do we find you?
My handle on Instagram is at It's Modern Millie. So it does start with the it's. And then on YouTube, you can look up Modern Millie.
Show notes and links in the description. Definitely check that out. Millie, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Well, I hope that those tips helped you learn how to get confident on camera. And as promised, I want to give you one of my tips, and that is to smile while you're talking. What? Heather, that's a tip? Yes, it is. Normally, when you are talking in your everyday life, you're not actually forcing a smile to happen at the same exact time. Right now, if you're watching this video, I am smiling and talking through this content. Now, if I were to not smile and just talk at a normal pace, I would have a lower energy and I would actually look like I'm not very happy. And here's why this can help you be confident on camera. Number one, it'll increase your energy. You'll have more energy when you're smiling and talking through that smile. It'll help you to enunciate your words more, and it really helps to lighten your face as you're on camera. Number two is you look happy. I kind of alluded to that, but here's the thing. People want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And a lot of times you trust people that are happy people. So one of my confidence tips for you is the next time you're on video, just smile and talk through your smile and see on the other side when you're watching that playback how much energy you have and how nice you look on camera. So I hope that helps you the next time you need to create your video. Now, here on this show, one of my favorite things to do is to read the comments from the people who have rated and reviewed this podcast. You can do that over on Apple Podcasts, and that helps us get in front of other people who are interested in this type of content. It helps me to also know what type of content you like listening to, if the topic is great, or if you want us to go deeper in different things. And my favorite ones to read are your testimonies. When you share with us that you've grown your YouTube channel, or you share with us that you started your online course, or you share with us that you got that brand deal, oh my goodness, that is exactly what I love to see in these comments over on Apple Podcasts. And today's review comes from Liddy Listens. Liddy says, Thank you. Only listened to 2 of the first videos, but I have been sitting on this for 2 years. 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Time to go all in. Great content and motivation. Liddy Listens left that after the video that we had that was all about the YouTube domination framework. And so I want to encourage you to get all in on video. Video is going nowhere. It's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm going to encourage you to jump in with 2 feet. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I hope that it's encouraged you today. And I want to ask you, what's your next step that you need to take? What action do you need to take after listening to this podcast? Maybe you need to set up the camera and just press record. Thank you for being a listener here on our show. Make sure you subscribe wherever you are consuming this content. Share it with a friend if you know that they need exactly what we have here on the podcast, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Did you hear that Grow with Video Live 2022 is back in person? This is your opportunity to network with like-minded people just like you, to make friendships, to make business partnerships. This is your opportunity to get in the room. You can get your ticket now at growwithvideolive.com. They're going so fast, so make sure you get your ticket right now at growwithvideolive.com.